Welcome to the Round 17 A-League Men's live review here on YouTube. My name is Lockie and this is Coast Forward Football, and plenty to talk about, of course, as always, from each weekend. We're going to walk through each of the games, get your guys' thoughts, of course, whether you're jumping in the live chat right now or watching on replay. We'd love to get your thoughts in the comment section. What did you make of these games? Every week there's more talking points coming out of every weekend of A-League football. We're going to jump into the first game of the week, Melbourne victory. We're back in action after their last week's fixture against Brisbane was postponed, defeated MACARTHUR FC 3-1. I was expecting a close one, and it was anything but that in this fixture, and the scoreline doesn't do the game justice. Victory should have won this game 6-0. They had so many great chances, especially in that second half. Margiotta came on, should have had a hat-trick himself. D'Agostino, you could see that he was tearing it up in this game, scored a brace, and Rojas grabbed a second-half goal. MACARTHUR, the story for MACARTHUR was they just simply weren't creating any quality chances. They weren't looking dangerous at all, which was weird considering that they still had the likes of Ulysses De Vere, Craig Noon doing things, Gianu up top as well. But it's just not clicking for MACARTHUR at the moment. And I saw the comments starting to rise up online, and it's something that I've been thinking about a lot, especially when you look at some of the personnel in their lineup and the two holding midfielders they have, Charles Mombwa and Tommy Orr. It's an interesting selection to go with those guys when you've got Jordan Much on the bench, for example. Orr and Mombwa, two players who their attacking abilities are maybe a bit more, they're more well known for their attacking abilities rather than their defensive work. It was just clearly shown there was a real difference between the two teams here. MACARTHUR, it didn't feel like they were in the game at all. They just didn't look like a chance of getting anything out of the game at all. Melbourne victory bossing it. This is a convincing performance from victory. And potentially, if they can keep some form, we know they had that slump in January around when they were winning the cup and everything. They weren't winning league fixtures. Victory are back now after this performance. And with Economides fit, with Rojas fit, D'Agostino banging in the goals, it's looking dangerous. I see George in the chat says, what a game I predicted before the game. 3-3, but at halftime, you thought it was 5. Dude, Melbourne could have had 5 or 6, honestly, throughout this game, yeah. Piglets in the chat says, victory with a great win. Dude, fantastic win for Melbourne victory. But let's shuffle on to the next game right now. We got Western United 2, Newcastle Jets 1. A 3 o'clock kickoff, a bit of an early one, this one. And another win for Western. The story is it's their 4th consecutive win for the ladder leaders, and there's no signs of them slowing down. This is the best they've been playing so far this season. There were some early games in the season, I remember, against Victory, even against City, even though they beat them, where they weren't necessarily looking all that convincing. But at the moment, they just seem to be the better team in every single game, in every single aspect. Of course, we know the ability to defend out games, and regardless of the opposition. I mean, we know about Newcastle Jets attacking players. Daniel Pena, Mikkel started in this game as well. So, look, it was Lee Lacroix who grabbed the 2 goals. The giant of a centre back, and someone mentioned it on Twitter. I have to remember their name because I can't remember it, but because there was a great call out. But they basically said that Lee Lacroix is basically like the A-League version of Virgil van Dijk, and it's a great shout. He's just an absolute beast of a centre back. He's bossing the league at the moment. Lee Lacroix. Oh my goodness. Julian's in the chat says, come on you boys in green with the green and black love hearts. How good. Newcastle Jets, though, I mean, they just need to start winning some games. Look, the energy is there for Newcastle Jets. I mean, Thurgate, one of the hardest working midfielders, he got on the score sheet in this game as well. What are we saying in the live chat? Heading to Mudgee next weekend? Yes. Looking forward to it as well. Looking forward to heading to Mudgee. Should be a lot of fun. Costa's in the live chat as well. Cameron, how's it going, guys? Good to see you all here in the live chat. So look, a massive 3 points for Western United. And again, I don't see them slowing up anytime soon. When you look at the players that they have on the park and players that they're still bringing in. I mean, they've been without Diamante for the last few weeks. They've been without Connor Payne. And, changing the defense at times. They didn't have Josh Risdon in this game as well. So regardless of who starts for Western, they know, everyone knows their role. You just tell when you're watching them play it. They're so well organised. So another win for the boys in green and black. And then we shuffle on to my favourite sight from this weekend. And it is a Mariners win. It's the first Central Coast Mariners win in the league since December 18. It's been over 2 months. It's really has been remarkable after such a bright and promising start. A cup run that took us all the way to the grand final at Amber Park. Finally back to winning ways here after some really unlucky last few weeks, man, whether it's been VAR, whether it's been late goals. Mariners came back and took out Brisbane Roar 2-1. You can see my full thoughts on this game in the match reaction we did on Sunday morning. That video is out on the YouTube channel. But overall, just to sum it up, I oddly enough thought this was one of the weakest performances from my Central Coast Mariners this season. I thought we weren't that great at all, actually. We only managed 7 shots throughout the whole game. Compare that to last week against Adelaide. We had 19 shots, created way more chances, but still managed to get the points against a very poor Brisbane Roar. I'm telling you right now, if there's any team we're riding out for the finals, I'm very confident. I would put all my money on Brisbane Roar, man. There's just no sign of them improving at the moment. And yes, they had Tom Aldred back. That was a plus for them in this game. Warren Moon, there's a couple of coaches now in the A-League who could potentially be sacked maybe before the end of the season, and Warren Moon might be one of them. What do you guys think? Are we expecting maybe Brisbane Roar coach Warren Moon? Could he last towards the end? Got some comments here on Leo Lacroix, as we were talking about before. Caleb says we need to extend Leo's contract. Julian says surely a contract extension for Lacroix. Dude, I mean, just for the A-League too, to have a player of his quality is just awesome as well. But look, fantastic win for the Mariners. First goal for Nicolai Muller, one Lascano grabbing another goal for the Roar. And hopefully for the Mariners' sake, onwards and upwards from here. Sydney Derby. We have to talk about it. It's the big one from the weekend. And the big talking point coming out of this one is that Sydney FC, goodness me, I mean, what's going on at Sydney FC? We made a specific video about it on the weekend, talking about Sydney FC and what this season's going to look like for them. Because it started off a mess, looked like they turned things around a little bit, winning some games. And then I remember that big blue, I think was that big turnaround where they drew 2-2 away to victory. And everyone's like, oh, okay, like they really showed some heart and some spirit in that game. Goodness me, they were so lifeless in this game. And with the thing that baffled me the most, and I mentioned that in that video I did on the weekend, is the big names. So many big names for Sydney FC. Look at, like, across that front four, they had Lafondra, whether it was off the bench or starting, Lafondra, Campsobo, Bobo, Narsing, Barbarousis, Ninkovic. Like, stacked, absolutely stacked. This is ridiculous. Like, when you look at a lot of other teams in the competition, they might have one or two, top, attacking players. Sydney FC are absolutely stacked up top, and barely hit the target. It's just remarkable. And Steve Corica needs to change something quickly. Sydney FC have been playing the same formation for the last 3, 4, 5 years now, however long it's been. That's sort of that 4-2-2-2 system. Does he shake that up? Does he change it? I think he has to do something, because clearly Sydney FC aren't cutting it this season. And Western Sydney Wanderers, 2 goals. Tom Ahmed needs goals. He's a striker who, once he gets on a good goal-scoring run, man, you can't stop him. And Keanu Bacchus, the most unlikely player to score from the corner. Fantastic stuff from Bacchus. Been playing for the Wanderers for a while now, hasn't he, Bacchus? And look, could this, on the flip side, could this result, what do you guys think? Could this result turn things around for the Wanderers? Could they make a push from here? Brad's in the chat. No, Brad, I know you're a Wanderers fan. It's a promising result for the Wanderers. Brad says, speaking about coaches in trouble, what about Corica? I think just looking at his achievements in recent seasons, I think it might be too early to say. We have to see how the season goes. I think there's still so much football to be played, and if they can finish finals, they could still finish 4th. I'm still optimistic that they will finish finals. They've got too many good players to not miss out to miss out on finals. But if they do miss out in finals, then yeah, I think the club at the size of Sydney FC, I think we have to be looking at Corica. Ari's in the chat says Ninkovic is finished, and please Wanderers make the finals. Mariners for Life says what a game it was. Brad says Sydney FC more crosses than a church and still couldn't score. And William Brown says, yeah, dude, give Benny a multi-deal, dude. Benny Cololo. He's an absolute star player at the moment for the Mariners and in the A-League. But hey, this is a massive result for Wanderers. And again, Wanderers continue their fantastic form in the Sydney Derby. What is it with Sydney FC and just not being able to win derbies, regardless of if they're champions, if they're coming first? Who cares? Wanderers always get up for the derbies. The Sydney FC haven't won a derby in quite some time now. It's Wanderers have absolutely been dominating it in recent years. We, of course, had a postponed fixture. Unfortunately, the rain was too much for Leichhardt over Wellington Phoenix and Melbourne City. Will be rescheduled for a later date. And we finally saw Perth Glory return to Western Australia to play a home game, a real home game, for the first time in over 100 days. No Daniel Sturridge involved. He's still injured. Adelaide United was the team that they were meeting. And Reds, This was a really strong defensive performance from Adelaide United. Perth Glory had some fantastic chances in this game, especially in that first half. Some decision-making let them down. Some quality of passing and shooting let them down. Had they just tightened things up a little bit, they could have won this game. And they were like really positive in that first half. Watching Perth Glory recently, they've been quite negative. They play quite a negative formation, quite defensive. They have been playing like fullbacks as wingers, and in this game they were much more lively and adventurous. And you know, you'd expect that returning home, playing in front of the home crowd, want to get back to winning ways in WA. But Adelaide United, man, I mean, they're inconsistent at times. Adelaide United, they've lost a few games here and there this season, but they really get up for. You just never know. You never know. On their day, they could defeat anyone on their day, and they could push late. They didn't have to push late in this game. It was all about their defense. They really held out that glory charge at the end. Goals to Ibusuki and Mo Ture. What a goal from Mo Ture! If you haven't seen the Ture goal, fantastic stuff. Great work rate, great pace. And the finish was insane from Mo Ture. So look, a fantastic result for Adelaide United, which keeps them in touch with the top six. But what are we guys saying in the chat? Tyron McGill's in here, says Adelaide for top four. Look, honestly, I mean, when we see the way that they're playing, it's a fair shot. It's a fair shot. So we are going to jump into my team of the week right now. I do this after every single weekend, and would love to get your thoughts on maybe who you thought were some of the top performers across the A-League men's competition this weekend. But here we go. Let's pull up the team of the week for round 17. Starting in goals, I got Joe Gauci. He made some crucial saves for Adelaide and was bossing it for corners. If you look at a lot of the corners that Glory had, he was getting to every single one, just punching them away. He was immense in the goals for Adelaide United. I got Jason Gary at right back or right wing back, if you like. He was just, again, immense for Melbourne victory, and probably doesn't get enough credit. He's actually been really good this season. Lee Lacroix, nothing else needs to be said. 2 goals and almost kept out a clean sheet, but again, immense from Lacroix. Philip Cankar. We didn't talk about Philip Cankar, man. I mean, this young central defender who comes in. Wanderers have been chopping and changing their central defensive pairing for basically every week. Philip Cankar's come in and at the moment is their best central defender this season. I mean, bar Reece Williams, who's been injured, but Philip Cankar, absolutely unbelievable at the back. Roderick Miranda in defence for Melbourne victory. Again, so solid, just shut down everything that MacArthur were throwing their way. Adama Traore, so solid in the left wing back position, kept Costa Barbarouses quiet. In midfield, I've got Keanu Bacchus, who's of course scored the goal in the derby, and One Day, who made like 1,000 blocks in that game against Perth Glory. And the front three, I've got Benny and Kalolo scoring 3 goals in 3 games now for the Mariners. He is on fire. Hiroshi Ubasuki was very dangerous for Adelaide. I think he managed 6 shots across he only played like an hour, but he managed 6 shots and a goal. And of course, Nick D'Agostino for his brace. Costa says Toure. I was considering throwing Toure in there, but ahead of those, I mean, those 3 for me just performed too well. I think, especially when you look at Ibasuki, I think he contributed to Adelaide a little bit more. So hey. Dingo says McLaren hat-trick in the Wellington game. Brad says team of the week should just be the entire Wanderers squad. Funnily enough. And Brad also says forgot Costa played he was that quiet. That's right. Funnily enough, I did I put it up on the socials. I put up a combined 11 for. Let's see if I can pull it up now. I'll pull it up now live here. We did a combined 11 for the Sydney derby, and it now looks hilarious. I'll see if I can quickly find it here. Here it is. So this is the combined 11 I did. This is before the derby, and if I could take this back, and dude, it would be absolutely reversed the other way. My goodness me. Especially the backline, dude. All Wanderers backline was fantastic. Thomas Masella made his debut for Wanderers, fantastic. Philip Cankar, of course. But look at that. I mean, just to think that it put the likes of James Donachie in there. I mean, Lafondra was so quiet in the derby. I mean, it would be almost... Troisi didn't even play. But that was my combined 11, and goodness me, do I want to take that back? But I think it's quite funny looking back at that in retrospect. But again, just to bring up... the team of the week for round 17, Benny Kalolo. I don't usually put a lot of Mariners players in there. I mean, there's rarely, it's a very team performance from the Mariners. It's rarely that I put like an individual team, play performance in there. But I thought Benny was fantastic. What else are we saying in the chat there? Alex says Lacroix better than Van Dyke. Alex says McLaren hasn't been as decent as he should like last season. It's interesting. He's still leading the Golden Boot race, to be fair. Benny Colo, best player in the league, says Jaden. That's right. Yeah, man. So some really impressive performances, but it was the defensive performances for me that really stood out. And there were a bunch of players who I was considering throwing in there that missed out. I mean, the whole victory defense was very solid. I mean, Davidson and Brendan Hamill, even in midfield, Josh Bolanta, I thought had a great game as well. Josh Nisbet too from the Mariners was great, so I almost put him in midfield as well. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning into this live round review. And as always, if you have enjoyed, make sure you hit the like button. That's the best way to show your support. And if you're not subscribed, make sure to hit subscribe and you stay up to date to all of the content we're dropping here on the Coastford Football YouTube channel. Of course, the A-League is heating up week by week as we now kind of past the halfway point of the season. Obviously, a bunch of teams still have games in hand, and we look forward to the next week of A-League men's football. Guys, have a fantastic week, and